So, it's been about a month or so since I made a video about Naruto, and since the last video about Shikamaru did so well, seriously, thank you guys for that, I figured I'd follow up with another Naruto related video. And to the people out there waiting for that video on Season 2 of Atlanta, don't worry, that's definitely coming next.
Please believe me! Please believe me!
But for now, I wanted to talk about something that I didn't even know was a thing people believed until just recently. The other day, I was on YouTube watching an old live stream from one of my favorite groups of anime-focused creators, RDC. In the live stream, the members of RDC were comparing different iconic anime arcs from various beloved shows and trying to figure out which anime arc was the best. Eventually, they got to compare the Chunin Exam arc from the OG Naruto series and the 4th Great Ninja War arc from Naruto Shippuden. When these two arcs came up against each other, I thought in my head, oh, that's easy. The Chunin Exam arc all the way. But I was shocked to find out that RDC were a little bit more unsure than I was.
Personally,
I Chunin Exams over War.
I'm going Great Ninja War because there was so many episodes on that hoe.
Kakashi and Obito.
Kakashi and Obito, Madara versus Shinobi Alliance. 5 Kage versus Madara versus Uchiha.
That was cool.
Mikey versus Madara.
Overall, though, like, you putting the whole 4th Great Ninja War against just a Chunin Exam.
It's cheating.
It's cheating, bro.
And to my great surprise, they eventually talked themselves into choosing that arc over the Chunin Exam arc.
This is bullshit.
Call me old-fashioned, but I've always been a big believer in OG Naruto supremacy. I think Shippuden does have a lot of Naruto's best moments, but my god, is there a lot of useless and downright terrible bullshit in between those moments. And there is no better microcosm and example of Shippuden's pros and cons than the 4th Great Ninja War arc. For starters, the arc is over 200 episodes long. How many arcs can honestly say that? I know a lot of it is filler, about 35 to 40% based on what I could find on the internet, but that still leaves an arc of over 100 episodes. That's 4 Samurai Champloo's and a Dorohedoro thrown in for shits and giggles. I don't think that long arcs are inherently bad though, and for the record, I also don't think that the 4th Great Ninja War arc is bad by any means. But comparing it to the Chunin Exam arc is like comparing Platinum End to Death Note. Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme because Platinum End was really stupid, but hopefully you get where I'm coming from. As RDC mentioned in their video, the 4th Great Ninja War is stacked with great fights. It's epic fight after epic fight. And if we were just grading the two arcs on how action-packed they were or going fight for fight, the 4th Great Ninja War would definitely win. But hey, maybe I'm the weirdo here. But I've never really watched Naruto just for the fights. Don't get me wrong, I really love a good fight scene, whether it be anime, some live-action kung fu movie, or even 2 bums on the street fighting on World Star back in the day. But great battle shonen have always been able to deliver more than just stellar animation and brutal beatdowns. I think that's part of the reason why newer shows like JJK and Demon Slayer have never really clicked with me the same way that other newer anime like Chainsaw Man and Heavenly Delusion have. JJK and Demon Slayer may have incredible fight choreography, mind-bending powers, and unbelievably smooth animation, but in general, they have stories and characters that I just could not give less of a fuck about if I tried. Whereas Chainsaw Man and Heavenly Delusion have fascinating characters and stories, and can also give me a good fight scene when the moment calls for it. But Gaara vs. Rock Lee is not the greatest fight in anime history because it looks so amazing. It's the greatest fight because of what that fight means to Rock Lee, and how in just 3 episodes, the show paints a perfect picture of what unyielding determination can achieve, but also, it shows the damage that it can do if left unchecked and allowed to manifest into unhealthy obsession. It's the best anime fight because it makes the viewer care about Rock Lee's dream just as much as Rock Lee does. And that boy really cared about that.
To protect and maintain one's own ninja way.
Now listen! That's called motherfucking bars, nigga! You know nothing about that!
But also, Lee dropping the weight, Lee hitting Gaara with the Lotus, and Lee opening the inner gates were all objectively hype as hell too. Naruto vs. Sasuke 1 is probably my second favorite fight in the series, because it's also that perfect blend of stakes, message, and cool ninja shit that made the show so great. In comparison, the Naruto vs. Sasuke 2 fight that basically ends Shippuden is objectively cooler than Naruto vs. Sasuke 1 visually, but pretty much all of the same emotion and great storytelling from the first feels stripped away from the second fight. There's definitely still great emotional moments in the second fight as well, and that's one reason why I do like that fight too. But I don't know, it just didn't hit as hard as it did the first time they fought, in my opinion. But that also brings up another point that was mentioned in the RDC video too.
When I go to Ninja, if I ever rewatch something, The Great Ninja War, nigga, I'm not watching 2 episodes.
You're not, bro. You're going to a certain part, bro. You're going to a certain part.
I'm going to specific parts of the war. Now, if I was to watch the Chunin Exams,
I'll start that bitch from the beginning. I'll start that bitch from the beginning.
When it comes to the great moments of the 4th Great Ninja War, which tend to mostly just be the fights, I never end up rewatching the whole episode that these moments happen in. I almost always just watch the fight. Usually it's some supercut version of the fight on YouTube or some other streaming site like that. But when it comes to anything in the Chunin Exam arc, every time I revisit a great moment, I end up watching the whole episode because it's not just the moment that's great, it's the whole episode that's great. That's one of, if not the biggest issues with Shippuden to me. So much of the show just doesn't feel important. Like, unless it's some big climactic fight or the huge plot twist reveal that we've all been waiting for, a lot of the moment-to-moment scenes in Shippuden just feel hollow and kind of boring. It's like they're only there to move the plot along and get to the really cool moments that the audience came to see. I've been able to successfully rewatch the main arcs of the OG Naruto series, up to Sasuke retrieval arc at least, about 3 times in my life. In comparison, I got all the way through Shippuden once when it was first airing, and I have never been able to get through it again since. In the OG Naruto series, I really appreciated how they tried to make even the most simple explanations, character introductions, or just any moment feel dramatic or important by adding really good background music and making these striking cuts and transitions between dialogue. Overall, OG Naruto just was much better at keeping my attention moment to moment than Shippuden was. The Chunin Exams just take you to more places and explore more characters, themes, and possibilities. And I put a big emphasis on the characters portion of that because the Chunin Exams arc lets so many more characters shine, whereas the 4th Great Ninja War is basically just the Naruto and Sasuke show for like 80% of the time. And then maybe every 30 episodes or so, Kakashi or Guy might get their moment, and maybe we see a long flashback of another character that we don't really care about that much. Say whatever negative shit you want about Sakura, and trust me, I definitely have in the past, and I definitely will in the future. But even she gets multiple moments to shine in the Chunin Exams arc. I mean, she still sucks, but at least you get a chance to see her try, you know? As terrible of a character as she is, you gotta admit, her going full Pharaoh mode and just biting the shit out of Zaku as he beat the shit out of the back of her head was kinda some real gangster shit. And speaking of some real gangster shit, Sasuke waking up from his curse mark coma to rip Zaku's arms out of the sockets is top 5 most cold-blooded moments in anime history for me. Seriously, this moment does not get talked about enough. There are so many moments in the Chunin Exam arc that made me feel a genuine connection with these characters. Like watching Naruto's remedial ass risk everything on the first phase written exam just to prove a point to the proctor and incidentally inspire the rest of the applicants to do the same. Watching Sasuke risk everything in the Forest of Death while fighting Orochimaru before he receives the curse mark. Watching Lee, multiple times throughout the arc, put his life on the line to protect others or to justify his life's dream. Watching Gaara go from a crazed and traumatized psychopath with no remorse to a broken and humbled boy who finally realized that he doesn't want to be a ruthless killer, he just wants to be loved. Neji being a pretentious hard-ass until Naruto tiger uppercuts some humility and human understanding into his f***ing jawline. Shikamaru going from a lazy waste of potential to a proud young soldier willing to give up his life to protect his comrades. I could go on and on and on about the great things of this arc. But the point is that even though the 4th Great Ninja War was stacked with great fights, the Chunin Exam arc was stacked with great story. And that will always be the more important thing in my eyes. In fact, if you want to know my favorite part of the 4th Great Ninja War, it's not any fight scene, it's not any character revealing some ultimate jutsu, it's not some crazy ass-pull plot twist either. No. It's the moment at the end of the war, the moment when the dust is settled, the bad guys have been beaten, And it's time for Naruto, the orphan that we've watched grow up in front of our eyes for a decade now, for 2 whole series, say his first and final goodbye to his parents. This is the boy who did the impossible several times. Against all odds, he managed to survive his turbulent upbringing and become strong enough to save the world. And he's made countless friends and connections that he never dreamed of having when he was just that lonely little kid on a swing. Now, at the end of his journey, all he wants is more time to spend with the parents he never knew. This little orphan boy became so strong and achieved so much, he was able to bring back his dead parents just for a moment. And watching Naruto realize that that moment is coming to an end, and to listen to him try to condense 15 years worth of missed time into just one small speech is both beautifully heartwarming and heartbreaking. It's that type of shit that makes Naruto great to me, and it's that type of shit that I wish was more prevalent in the 4th Great Ninja War arc. It had its moments, and like I said, I don't think the arc is bad by any means, but comparing it to the Chunin Exam arc is just unfair.
It's cheating.
It's cheating, bro.
The Chunin Exam arc is not just my favorite Naruto arc, it just might be my favorite arc of all time. And I would make the argument that you could erase all the other arcs of Naruto from existence and just leave the Chunin Exam arc as the only piece of the show in the world, and the show would still be considered a masterpiece. People like to talk about peak this and peak that. The Chunin Exam arc, to me, is apex peak fiction.